You ready? Good afternoon. I'm Priska Julian, Communication Specialist at the Electoral Office. Mr. Stowe, Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Ms. Anthea Joseph, Chief Elections Officer, and media colleagues, good afternoon and welcome to this press briefing. We are grateful that the press, that you are here as we consider you an integral part and partners going into this undertaking. And as we get into this briefing, we're going to welcome Mr. Stowe with the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Chairman, Madam CEO, Chief Elections Officer, Mrs. Joseph, members of the press, welcome. Of course, if any other member of our electoral office is there, welcome. For many years, electoral reform and modernization have been central to national dialogue in Dominica. It has been a process marked by reflection, consultation, and commitment, all driven by a shared goal to strengthen our democracy and ensure that every vote truly counts. Our mission has been clear: to modernize the electoral process, making it transparent, inclusive, efficient, and credible. We have sought to enhance transparency, build trust, embrace responsible use of technology, and ensure that the system works fairly for every Dominican. The electoral reform legislation was passed earlier this year by the Dominican Parliament. Since the law's passage, the Electoral Commission has been working diligently to operationalize the reforms, training personnel, strengthening systems, and preparing for full implementation. It has not been without challenges, but progress has been steady and determined. Today, we announce that we are ready to begin the confirmation process from October 15th, 2025. We acknowledge the tireless work of members of the Commission and the Electoral Office staff and all partners who have supported this effort. Their dedication reflects our collective belief that democracy must continually evolve to serve the people of Dominica. This reform is more than an administrative change. It is a renewal of trust between the people and the institutions that safeguard their voice. We have come a long way, and though challenges remain, we are proud of our progress, and we are confident that we will see through in all the challenges and the work ahead. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And as we move along, we are going to invite the Chief Elections Officer, Ms. Anthea Joseph.
Good afternoon to members of the media and also to our chairman, Mr. Duncan Stowe, and our information specialist or communication specialist, Ms. Priska Julian. We are happy this afternoon that we can bring some information to the entire public, nation of Dominica, who will be listening or viewing and want to know what confirmation is all about. So I will begin by just explaining to you what is confirmation. Confirmation is the process by which an elector whose name was on the voters list on May 2025 gets his or her name into the new voters list compiled in accordance with the new regulations of the Electors Act of 2025. Where will confirmation take place? Confirmation will be undertaken in every confirmation center in every constituency in Dominica. Some constituencies will have more than one confirmation center. Confirmation will not take place overseas, only in Dominica. Who will be the electoral office staff at the confirmation center? Enrollment officers appointed by the chief registered officer and supervised by her will staff the confirmation centers in every constituency. Enrollment officers must take an oath before undertaking their duties. Who can apply for confirmation? Only a person whose name is on the list of May 2025 can apply to be confirmed. So therefore, if your name is not on the voters list of May 2025, then you are not entitled to be confirmed. Where can a person apply to be confirmed? A person can only apply at a confirmation center in the constituency which he is registered to vote as of May 2025. Must a person applying to confirm bring anyone with him? Certainly, yes. An applicant must bring a person registered to vote in the same polling district as a witness. What documents must a person bring in order to be confirmed? If a person is a Dominican citizen, he must bring one of the following: his or her valid Dominican passport, or his or her valid Dominica's driver's license, or his or her valid Dominica Social Security card. If the person is a Commonwealth citizen, and we have 53 Commonwealth countries, for the media's sake, we can give you a copy of the Commonwealth countries, 53 of them. You need a valid passport issued by the Commonwealth country. Another valid government or official document to establish his identity and nationality. And that could include a driver's license, social security card, or voter ID card. This must be from the same Commonwealth country as his or her passport. Or an affidavit of identity in the form set out in the third schedule. I want to take some time to just talk to us about the kinds of documents, because sometimes persons may want to bring copies of documents when coming to confirm. Where an applicant has an original document, this should be brought to the enrollment officer along with a copy. So in other words, you cannot just come with a copy of a document, but you must work with the original and a copy. Where the applicant only has a copy of the required document, then a certified copy must be submitted, certified by a justice of peace, a commissioner for oath, or notary public. What happens when a person presents himself for confirmation? That's very important. First step, check to see if his name is on the voters list for the constituency as of May 2025. If his name was not on the list, he cannot proceed. Second step, ensure that he has with him an elector registered in the same polling district as the applicant to be his witness. If not, he must be required to get one. Third step, check to ensure he has all required documents. If any is missing, he should be told to get them. Fourth step, if the applicant satisfies all the steps, he must complete and sign the application for confirmation, which is Form 31, in the presence of the enrollment officer and a voter registered in the same polling district as the applicant. Where possible, the applicant must fill in the form himself. However, the enrollment officer can assist the applicant to fill the form to ensure that it is done correctly, or in a case where the applicant cannot write or have difficulty writing, then the enrollment officer can assist in that case. If the applicant is unable to sign the application form, he must make a mark. Step number 5. The enrollment officer enters the information form that has been completed by the applicant onto the electronic database. The enrollment officer must then take a photograph of the face of the applicant. The enrollment officer must also scan all the relevant supporting documents and keep a hard copy of each. The applicant is then given the opportunity to check the information entered on the computer and if it is correct. And for that purpose, there are going to be 2 screens, one for the enrollment officer and one for the applicant. So the applicant can read the screen and check to see that the information is correct. Step number 6. If everything is in order, the enrollment officer issues the applicant with a receipt in Form 32. This receipt acknowledges that the application has been duly made. If the applicant cannot be allowed, copies of the supporting document must still remain with the enrollment officer and a notice of interim non-confirmation issued to that person in the form of Form 34. If there is any discrepancy between the name or other information on the voters list and that the document presented, the enrollment officer is satisfied that this is nevertheless the same person, the confirmation can proceed. For example, we have some persons who may be registered on nicknames years ago, and that person walks in with their identification with the correct name. Once the enrollment officer can certify that this is the same person. And for that matter, we have provided a hotline which is being attended to at the office. And we have two senior staff who will be dealing with matters like that. So if somebody walks into the center and they are registered on a nickname and the enrollment officer is not sure, they can call the office and verify with the staff who have been dealing with that, with the voters list and voters for a very long time. If the enrollment officer, however, is not satisfied that this is the same person, the documents must retain and a notice of interim non-confirmation issued to the applicant. Okay, so if that person, if the enrollment officer cannot proceed with taking the application because you cannot certify that it's one and the same person, then interim certificate is given to that person. Now, if that person, this person can appeal to the chief registering officer, and in the there is a form that the person can fill out and appeal that decision of the enrollment officer not to take the application. So here are some of the reasons why a voter or a person cannot be, for that matter, the enrollment officer can refuse to proceed with a person coming to confirm. The applicant is not the person whose name is mentioned in the register of voters as of May 2025. The information required to be provided for confirmation has not been provided or is inadequate. The applicant, being a Commonwealth citizen, has left Dominica and appears to be no longer resident in the polling district. Let me note here too that the final decision on whether a person should be confirmed is that of the chief registering officer, not the enrollment officer. So that's what I want to present to you this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. With that wealth of information, and we are sure some of the members of the press have been waiting, we are going to open the floor to get some questions regarding the confirmation process.
Chief, what it was, I saw you have on your literature, March, you said May, and it's after May.
Correction.
Huh?
Was a correction.
I've corrected it.
It's as of May 2025.
Yeah, well, the question, I can go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, the question I'd like to ask, either you, the chief election officer, or Mr. Duncan Stowe, chairman of the Electoral Commission, can answer. What about the duration process for this confirmation? Begins on the 15th. It goes until when? Just come to the mic.
The confirmation period is for 1 year. However, it can be extended up to 15 months if at the end of 12 months the commission is not satisfied that the thing that there are more persons that can participate, or for whatever reason the commission has a right to extend up to 15 months majority
And can
maximum.
And can you confirm only those who are confirmed can take part in an election?
At the end of the process, every person confirmed will receive a voter ID card, and that is what will be used to vote.
And these are the only people who can take part.
These will be the only persons who will be able to participate in an election.
Just clarification.
we're going through the process of confirmation to, well, there's been a lot of debate on the whole issue of our list, dead people on the list, dead man voting, etc. So the reform process is a process ready to cleanse the list. The reform process, the confirmation process is a process whereby that new list, you have the old list, and a new list is being formed where persons are, are, are being brought over, if you want to put it, it's a new process of registration, persons being brought over to a new list. But also, you will also have the process of registration. So persons who are being registered and persons who are confirmed will eventually find themselves on one list for the purposes of an election.
And that final list will include, of course, the new voters, particularly the new voters.
Right. So you will have on that list the new voters, persons who have just turned 18 and are voting, and that list which is being processed at the moment in terms of confirmation. Yeah, that's what
The overseas electors would like to vote, but coming to the traveling may have been a process or a problem for them. Is there any way that we are thinking of facilitating them? Because they would like to vote, but or come to confirm, that is. But, because they're overseas, it might be a problem for them to travel. Is there any way that
there are no overseas centers for the exercise? So in light of the fact that there are no overseas centers for the exercise, everyone who has to confirm has to find their way to a confirmation center that has been set up across the island, which ties with the polling district in which you vote, and have yourself confirmed. So no special provision is being made for persons who are overseas.
As we are on the centers, I wanted to just mention where the centers are located in every constituency for the information of the public. So we have the Cassibros constituency, we have the Sophia Resource Center, we have Good Hope Resource Center, and the Cassibros Emergency Center. So we have 3 centers in the Cassibros constituency. Colio, there are going to be 2 centers in the Dubla Resource Center and the Colio Primary School. Cottage, we also have 2 centers, House of McLean Debo, that is on the main road in Lago, and the Cottage Village Council. In Granby, we have Granby Youth Center and Montine, building at Montine. Now signs are going to be posted on every center which will be written Confirmation Center, so persons can find it easily. La Plaine, we have the La Plaine Training Center or the Agricultural Station, and also the Daly's Primary School. Maho constituency, we have the Kenfield Urban Council, we have the Maho Village Council, and we have House of Celia King on the main road in Massac, just opposite the cemetery. There's a new building there, Cream Building, right there in the bottom floor. In Marigot, we have 2 locations, the Marigot Public Library and the Marigot Village Council. Mount John River Civic, we have Grand Force Smart Center, and we have the River Civic Health Center. It's not the entire health center, it's a portion on the side of the health center. we have the Bellevue Chauffeur Resource Center and the Bacatel Village Council. Portsmouth, we have the building of the Nagico building in the top floor, right there. Roseau Central Electoral Office, there are 2 offices at the front of the building. They're going to be used for Roseau Central, and also House of Anne-Marie Clark on Bath Road. That is somewhere located just after Campbell's business machine. Roseau North, the Red Cross building, and Fonkole Improvement Center. Roseau South, Newtown Innovation Hub, Lobia Village Council, and the Roseau Primary School, which is at Bath Estate. Roseau Valley, we have Trafalgar Innovation Hub, the Cochrane Primary School, and the Loda Emergency Center. Salisbury, Collaboration Village Council, and the Salisbury Primary School. Salibier, we have the Atkinson Village Council and the Agricultural Extension Office in Gullet River. St. Joseph, it's going to be the Layo Emergency Shelter and the primary school in St. Joseph. Soufriere constituency, Soufriere Village Council, and Point Michel Resource Center. Vickers, we have the Penville Resource Center, the Vickers Village Council, and Thibault Community Center building. Wesley, House of Christian Africa, KIF Africa. In also Wesley Resource Center. So these are where the centers are located, and they will be posted on our website and also in the newspapers. And as I said, we have a hotline. If any person wants information concerning where their center will be, they are free to contact the office and to ask for information or guidance.
So how many centers in all you come to?
We have 47 centers.
What days will you be open at times?
The centers will be open on a Monday from 9:30 to 5:30 p.m. Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday is closed. Thursday, Friday, same time, and on a Saturday from 9 to 3 p.m. However, our start date, the 15th, falls on a Wednesday. So for only that week, we will be open on the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But for the balance of the period, every Wednesday, the centers are going to be closed. But however, we are open on Saturday to accommodate persons who work during the week.
Okay, Madam Chairman, I realize that this process will entail with a lot of public awareness. What you mentioned going around and that sort. What traditionally the churches, things like that, what strategies do you have for that? For dissemination of information?
We plan on trying to reach everybody, whether on island or overseas. So we'll be using the website of the Electoral Office as well as our social media platforms. And of course, we will be engaging as often as possible. This will not be our last press briefing. So we will be calling on you because, like I said, you are partners to ensure that everybody knows what is going on, what the updates are, where they can get any information regarding confirmation and anything coming from the Electoral Office. And so those are the mediums. And like Ms. Joseph said, we do have a hotline established where we have senior members on staff who are available to answer questions or any concerns the public may have.
I would like to ask a question. My question regards to persons who are challenged or disabled. Are there any provisions for persons physically challenged, disabled, for in the process?
We have on island 5 mobile kits, and these kits are to be used at the homes of those who are physically challenged, disabled persons. So we're asking persons, if you have anybody who is challenged, physically challenged, that you can go to your center in your constituency and inform them of persons, and they will go to the homes with mobile kits to conduct the process.
Yeah, I have another question. Persons might be afraid of asking about fraud and stuff, but some of the public members might still feel that, still feel like there might be some fraud in the process. How can you talk to the public in terms of the fraud? Or what is the commission going to do in that regard when these questions start to come up?
Well, it depends on the area of fraud that you're referring to. We recognize that there's been a number of issues as it relates to allegation of fraud. And the whole process of reform, you're looking at fairness, you're looking at inclusiveness, you're looking at efficiency, you're looking at your connection, adapting with the technology. And these are some of the things that we're doing, and these are some of the things that the new law speaks to. So that is just one of the process of trying to partner with the public, not only with the elector, but partner with the parties. Because at the end of the day, when you're talking about fairness and you're talking about the elimination of fraud, you have to think of the elector and you have to think of the political parties. So the law itself, these are some of the things that the law, the very exercise that we're conducting, is part of the process of eliminating fraud. Because at the end of the day, what you want to know is that you have a list that you are publishing that has been sanitized through the process as being provided by the law, using the technology, which is because there are going to be a number of computers. When persons go to register or to confirm now, it's a digital process to input the information. And when the information is inputted, the data is sent to a back end where we at the electoral office, Madam CEO, is responsible for the safeguard and the safekeeping of. So these are all part of the process of reform. When you talk about electoral reform, you talk about modernization. We recognize, and if you go and you read the law, you will see that there are a number of sections in the law, and the regulations also make provisions for safeguarding the whole issue of fraud.
Mr. So, yeah, can I ask another question, please? Yeah, the Constitution of Dominica gives the Prime Minister the power to call an election anytime. So the Prime Minister could well call an election during the confirmation process, as you said,
Yes.
goes for another year and 3 months. How could a situation like that affect the confirmation process? He calls the election while the confirmation process is on. How could that affect the work that you do to complete the confirmation process?
Well, if the election is called, then we have to change gears.
How?
Well, an election is called. What would be required now of the staff at the electoral office is to prepare for an election. If the Prime Minister so chooses, and he does have the power so to do.
But that would certainly affect the confirmation process.
Well, things will have to change in terms of the delegation of staff and what it is staff will be responsible for. Things will definitely have to
Have
change.
you all as a commission considered that option, that could well happen?
Well, that is something that has come up, and it is something that, of course, that if at all we face with a situation like that, we'll have to deal with it.
Another question, I could ask another question. It's about a situation I've heard about over the last few weeks, and that has to do with CARICOM nationals entering Dominica. As of October 1, 2025, the free movement of CARICOM nationals began. Dominica and 3 other countries are taking part in the in the free movement of CARICOM nationals. How could the Barbadian enter in Dominica from October 1st under the free movement? How could that person be confirmed in Dominica? And some people are saying the process is a political one. It was done to facilitate some governments who are
coming into Dominica and living in Dominica and getting, and he would have to satisfy the law in order to get on the voters list. He would have to be there at least 12 months prior, continuously living and residing in Dominica.
remove the fact that the free movement is going on just at the time when we are about to begin confirmation.
Well, the governments have been talking about free movement of people for many years. So my take on it, it just so happens it coincides with our process of reform. But I don't believe that the decision or the decision to allow the free movement of people among, or full, to put the full free movement of people into effect, I don't think that that is a deliberate thing to coincide with the process of confirmation in Dominica. I don't think so, because free movement has been spoken about for many years in the region.
What of security at the centers? Because remember, there's security at the centers, to me that's important.
As we speak, all over the island, at every center we have installed security cameras, which we have a view online that we can monitor what takes place. For some of the centers, we have also requested the assistance of the police officers throughout the day while the confirmation is taking place.
Okay, we are just going to show what the cards are expected to look like. Ms. Joseph is going to take over in that aspect. Before we do that, do we have any other questions?
I think pretty much.
So you can close the floor to.
Yeah, we pretty much. Okay.
Thank you.
I just wanted, we just, off the record, Curtis had asked a question, and he said he would have asked it there, but I just wanted to give you your answer because you had spoken about it just before I came in. The issue of the ID cards, and that has been a sore point throughout the process. When ID cards will be issued to persons, we have the printers here, we have the cards here. In addition to that, persons can either come and pick up their cards when the cards are ready, or with an authorized note, they can send someone to collect their cards for them. The law also makes provision that cards can be sent to someone's address overseas by registered mail.
And that will be as soon as you confirm the cards will be available.
The cards will not be ready as soon as we are available. There is a process, and as soon as the cards are ready, they will be persons will be.
Speak to suggestions and allegations that some people are already receiving voter ID cards.
Well, I could say categorically no.
That's not true.
That cannot be true. Because of what is involved, it cannot be true. That's definitely not true.
So, young man telling me that he has his card, that cannot be true too.
No. Because you have to go to, the equipment is now being commissioned. So how would you have gotten your cards if the equipment are now being commissioned? And you would have had to go through a process. Your information would have had to be loaded into a computer. The information would have had to be sent to the head office. The information would have had to be verified by the verifiers, the team of persons who are responsible for verifying. Then and only then the card will be printed. How is that possible? Unless you're talking about a voter card from another country. Possibly, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make it clear to the public that we, in our testing of our card, our machine here, last week we used members of staff to test the card machine to ensure that it was working and cards were being printed. So this is what it will look like, and I want to let you know that this person has not been confirmed, so it is not a confirmation that has started in the office. It is just a test to the printer, and this is just a sample of what it looks like. And this was tested on a member of staff. So that person still has to be confirmed because the person was not confirmed. It was just a test so that we could test the machine to see what the cards would look like, how they would be printed. And I want to add to that from the palette of cards that we received, we actually counted how many cards were tested. So therefore it's not possible for any member of the public to have had a voter ID card yet.
If one loses his or her card, how long will it take them to get a new?
Well, there's a process for replacement of cards. That person would have to apply for a replacement card. And there will be an investigation as to why the card has to be replaced. Okay?
Is there a distinctive mark on this card that would prevent it from being duplicated by someone else, or you call that forged by someone else?
Well, it's always said that anything a man does, some other man can try to beat it and might be successful at that. But one of the features is a watermark.
Yeah.
Watermark of the coat of arms.
Okay.
And there will be a signature on it. The signature of of course, the applicant, and the signature of the CEO. But we have some security features that we will keep to ourselves for the time being.
Right.
Can these cards be used for traveling in the CARICOM in the overseas countries?
Well, I am not sure. I guess the various departments of the various departments responsible for travel, I guess that would have to be something taken at the heads of government or maybe the OECS heads to make a determination on that, whether that's one of the cards that they will accept. I'm not sure. Yeah. But the immigration departments, I'm sure, is something they might consider. It's an ID issue by
it is a national ID.
It is a national ID.
It's a national ID. So maybe they might accept it. I don't know.
Mr. Store, final question. About the people at the various centers, you call them what? Enrollment officers?
Enrollment officers. And assistant enrollment officers.
An assistant. How many of them have you contracted for the 1 year, I think 3 months duration?
So far, we have contracted 105 enrollment officers to spread around the island at confirmation centers.
105.
105.
Okay.
Okay, we want to thank you very much, members of the press, for coming. We look forward to having you at our next press briefing. We want to thank those who engaged and looked at live. And we encourage anyone who has any questions regarding confirmation to reach out to the electoral office. We'll be more than happy to assist with ensuring that you have the information you need as we look forward to having every elector possible confirmed.